Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Tonight we have another episode of Panic or Patience. This time it's going to be the Houston Astros edition. Let's jump into it here. The Astros have had a very weird season so far. Um, this month in particular, we'll get there in a sec. They're 14 and 13. They did have a 6-game winning streak. They 4-game swept the A's in May. So it looked like they were starting to get back into things, and then tonight, they just got walked off. They lost the series against the Mariners and still another game to go in that series. So it could be a 4-game sweep for the M's tomorrow. But in regards to the Astros, we're going to kind of take a deeper look of why they are in this position right now. Obviously, they lost a lot of close games in April, but right now they sit at 24 and 32. They still do have a 23% chance to win the division while having a 35% chance to make the playoffs. Blake, what's your thoughts on the Astros so far this season?
Yeah, it's they got off to one of the worst starts in franchise history. And it was just weird because it wasn't for the lack of effort offensively. It was largely due to the fact they had one of the worst bullpens to start the season, and it hasn't gotten any better. Josh Hader, he's had some moments, but there's a lot of times where he's been kind of underwhelming. I mean, let's just face it, he hasn't been the dominant lefty closer that they paid him to be. And Presley too. He's kind of imploded in some moments as well. So um it's unfortunate because this is still a really good team offensively. Bregman struggled a little bit, but Alvarez, Altuve, I mean, they still got a lot of guys on that roster that can bang, but they're just not getting good enough pitching right now.
Yeah, let's take a look at that pitching that you're talking about. At the top, it's sorted by games started.
Mhm.
Let's see it here. Hunter Brown has started the most games for them, 10 so far. He's got a 1-5 record with a 6.39. Obviously, not what you want to see out of a top prospect and a guy that they thought was going to be the next ace of this Houston Astros team.
Mhm.
If we look at guys like Framber Valdez, he's got a 4.34. He got banged up last week in a start against the Angels that kind of elevated his numbers, but other than that, he's been pretty good. Ronel Blanco, 5-0 with a 1.99 through a no-hitter, but then gets banged for sticky stuff. Gets a
Oh,
10-game suspension, right? So
yeah.
how much do we, kind of how much stock can we put into him after that?
Right.
As far as the relieving goes, we'll just go over the save opportunities so we can sort it from relievers. Ryan Presley's 0-2 with a 5.31 ERA in
Mhm.
22 games. Obviously, not translating very well, moving from a closing position to a setup position. Josh Hader has 3 losses. Also, blew opening day, but there's been a lot more games where they lost with him in the ninth in extra innings
Mhm.
or in the ninth, like I said. Brian Abreu's been good. Montero's been pretty good. Um, yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where, to me, I mean, the numbers don't look great. The back half of this pen. If we go back to that rotation, though, you have Verlander. He's got a 3.26. It was a late start to the season.
Javier
Framber
too.
has been serviceable. Ronel Blanco's been good. Christian Javier has been good. They've had chances to win. Let's head over to that hitting that you were talking about. Kyle Tucker leads the American League in home runs, maybe even the major leagues. I'm not sure at this point.
Yeah.
Jose Altuve only has 9, but he's still batting 293.
Mhm.
Um, Alex Bregman's only batting 213. He hit a home run today. Jordan Alvarez only has 9 so far, but you can expect 40 out of him. Um,
They're hitting for
Chas
average. Like,
McCormick has
yeah.
only played 25 games.
Mhm.
And that's a guy that led their team last year through some spurts. Um, and then Jose Abreu already had to get sent down to the minor leagues to figure himself out. He's batting 104 in 24 games.
A-
So Jeremy Pena has looked better.
yeah.
Last year was pretty bad. So
A bright spot for them though, even though like a guy like Chas McCormick is struggling, a guy like Jake Myers has kind of really stepped up and kind of taken over that center field role for them. So that's been a bright spot for them. But like they're hitting for a lot of average, not too much long balls. But
well, they have
well,
65.
But it's like
Yeah,
there's only one guy in double digits. I mean, I guess there's a lot of guys on the cusp of 10, but
yeah,
you know what I mean? There's not like other than Tucker, there's really not much guys setting them apart from there.
yeah. I want to see what their stolen base numbers are because maybe they're not doing much of that. Let's see. They're
Right there,
13th. I
13.
mean, top
Yeah.
15 in stolen bases. Striking out? Are they striking out? I mean, doesn't look like they're striking out. They literally have the least amount of strikeouts in the league.
Yeah, they hit for
If
a
we
lot of
resort
average.
this, they're first.
Yeah.
So average,
Yep. First in
see where they're
average.
at.
Literally
Yeah,
first.
first. OPS, they're sixth.
Their offense has been
That
fine. Like that's
everything on paper has been fine. That's the thing. They just
Mhm.
haven't won ball games. I mean,
They're losing a lot of
let's go
close
over.
games too.
Yeah, let's go over their schedule. We'll even go back to April. How many games here? We have to start off with. This was the opening series against the Yankees.
Mhm.
They lost a lot of games there, late in games, 5-4, okay, 7-1. They blew this game late. They blew this game late. We head into April. They're already 0-4. They get 2 wins. They lose a 2-1 game.
That was one of the hater
Rangers take
balloon
care of them.
side too. Yeah.
Here's another 4-3 game that they lost. This is where things were kind of unraveling. A 5-4 loss to the Braves,
Mhm.
another 5-4 loss to the Nats, a 4-3 loss to the Cubs, a 3-1 loss. We head into May, you know, lost 3-2 to Guardians. So they're losing a lot of close games.
Yeah.
This is something that kind of scares me here with them. They just, again, they lost tonight 2-1 in extras. They blew it. They blew it.
Mhm.
Um, they are, what is that? 1-5 against the Mariners this month.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and most of their wins are against the A's. They're what, 6-1 against the A's.
Mhm.
So they did lose this series against the Angels, but then they beat the Brewers, who've been playing good. So they split with the Yankees in the Bronx. Or sorry, they lost the series against the Yankees in the Bronx. But anyways, I just feel like against good teams, they just haven't pulled it out. They keep
Th-
inching back against bad teams. But so far,
Let's take a
I
look
mean,
at
let's
their
look.
June. Yeah.
Yeah, let's take a look. It's going to be the Twins, Cards. Sorry, I hate when it does this. Twins, Cards, Angels, Giants, Tigers, White Sox, O's, Rockies, Mets. A lot of opportunities what I'm seeing with this team.
Yep.
Um, I'm gonna go ahead and make my verdict now. I'm gonna go ahead and go with patience on this one. This is a team that's made the ALCS for what, 6 years in a row.
Yep.
Um, it wouldn't surprise me even if they won the division at this point. The AL West has been so bad. We come over here, it's a lot of bad baseball. Let's see. I mean, it's right here. The top team's 5 games over 500. While you look at the AL Central, 37-19, Brewers 32-23, Dodgers 36-22, Phillies 39-18, Yankees 38-19. It has been the worst division in baseball.
Yeah.
So they are only 6.5 back as it stands. They're 6 games or 8 games back of 500. A lot of opportunity in June, so I'm gonna go ahead and go with patience with this team, but it does need to get going in June because if we get to July and things haven't changed, I might not be as patient with them.
Yeah. I'm gonna go patience too. The reason why I'm going patience is because they're getting results from their hitting. Their pitching eventually should figure itself out. Presley and Hader aren't going to be that bad for all season. They're eventually going to figure it out. They have proven track records, both of those guys. Presley was one of the best relievers in baseball last year. He just doesn't forget how to pitch. Um, and if they can figure out, they got to take advantage of June. There is a lot of winnable games this month, like you mentioned, and they gotta bear down in their one-run games. Like that's that's literally what it comes down to with this team. They are a hit here or a strikeout here away from potentially even being in a playoff spot right now. Like that's how close the margin for error has been with this team. They've lost a lot of one-run games, and unfortunately, they're on the wrong side of it. Like you mentioned, this team has a really good track record of getting it done when it matters most. So yeah, if there's any team that could rebound from a disastrous start like they had, it's the Houston Astros because they've done it for the last half decade. So, Yeah, I'll go patience for now, but like you said, it is running out of time for sure.
Yeah. All right. I think that's going to do it for this one. If you like this video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. As always, we appreciate you guys for listening, and we'll see you on the next one. Later.